I'm going to first start by thanking the Department of Arts and the Center for Universal Human Values for organizing such an exciting workshop. And it is indeed my pleasure to be a part and to get this opportunity to come back to KES and deal with you students all over again. A lot of you are there whom I've taught before, so I'm really, really happy that you guys took out the time and you're here. So let's make this a really productive workshop, all right? Now to begin with, there are some rules of this workshop, okay? The rules of the workshop are, number one, you have to keep an open mind. And why I'm saying that you have to keep an open mind is because you may think that active listening is something that you do all the time. You may think that this is not something that needs to be taught. Yeah, there's no need for a workshop on this. But trust me when I tell you that there is so much research and there's so much literature that has gone into looking at the benefits of active listening and also to show why it is important, not only in our personal life, but also in our professional life. So stick with me, keep an open mind, and remember that if you are consciously practicing active listening, if you are mindful, you will become a better communicator, which in turn is going to help you both in your personal and in your professional life. Okay, so with that, what we are going to do is we are going to start off with a small activity. What I need you to do is I need you to grab a blank sheet of paper. I need you to grab a pen or a pencil. And I'm sure you may have it already with you, but I'll give you 10 seconds to find one. And yeah, 10 seconds, find one quickly. All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now on your blank sheet of paper, you see this 9 square grid made, right? So very roughly on your sheet of paper, can you make that? Roughly, okay? It should look something like this. Very bad, okay. Okay? All right. Okay, once you are ready, can you just be ready? Yeah, just be ready. Okay, so now if you see this first square is your starting point, okay? I'm going to give you some instructions, follow my instructions and draw, okay? Become an artist for the next 30 seconds, okay? So on your start mark, move 2 squares to the right and draw a star. It should look something like this, okay? Starting 2 squares to the right, draw a star. Move 1 square down and draw a circle. Move 1 square down and draw a triangle. 1 square left, draw a flower. And go 2 squares up and write your name. Anybody brave enough to show me what they've made? Or should I show you what I made? Is there anybody who's brave? Can I don't see anything. Okay, well, it should look something like this. Okay. Sonika, I don't see.
There is one participant, Sukhmani, she's showing.
So, Sonika, I don't see it. Why don't I see it?
You're not able to see?
No.
You are on gallery.
You can click on grid view and you can see that.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I can't believe I'm not so old that I'm having technological issues. Okay, who's showing me? I can see somebody. This is Divesh, is it? Okay, Divesh, I think you and I are same. Or koi hai jo dikha raha hai. Oh wow, so many.
Sukhmani is also there one.
Yeah, so cool. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right, amazing. So, well, if you have something like this, I want you to know you did 2 things. One thing you did was you listened to my instructions very, very carefully. Second thing that you did is that you blocked out all distractions because you were so focused on this activity, right? So so I think you're a good listener. Let's try another activity, okay? So let's go to this one. All right, I am now, wait. You have your sheet with you. You don't need your sheet now. You just need to listen. I'm going to play an audio clip and then I'm going to shoot a poll and you're going to answer the poll. Okay, so listen very, very carefully. Listen, okay, everyone. Okay. All right, I'm now going to shoot a poll, okay? It has the options of what sounds did you hear. So, sabko pata hai, this is a very, very common market sound, but I want to know what are the sounds you heard, okay? So I'm going to now, sorry. Sound of rain, woman shouting. Okay, let's wait for 10 more seconds. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I see your, okay, can you see my results on the screen? Okay, so I think about 78% of you heard the cycle bells, which is amazing. वो बहुत clear sound था. The other clear sound was of the hens and the chicks in the marketplace and वो crows also. I did not get the sound of rain, but if you're saying तो शायद होगा, मुझे नहीं सुनाई दिया. And women and men shouting. Great, awesome. All right, let's stop sharing this and okay. Okay, so what I want you to think about now is that when I played the video, how many of you came close to the screen? Or how many of you closed your eyes and really tried to concentrate? Now, these are all signs of you trying to do active listening. So pretty much all of you are active listeners and all of you, okay, all of you are active listeners and all of you just need to sharpen those skills to make it better. I'm going to move on. We're going to keep some time for questions and clarifications after some time. So just let me continue. Okay. So I just want to quickly take you through the agenda of today's workshop. So you're going to learn what and why of active listening. You're going to learn some of the key skills of active listening and why it's so important to practice those key skills. You will also learn about active listening skills in 3 main situations. So most of you are in college, some of you may not be in college, you may be working already. You will face workshops, seminars, and meetings. ये सबकी life में है and you can't ignore this. So what are some of the strategies you can use to show the speaker that you are listening actively? Second is interviews. We will give interviews at some point or the other, and some things that you can do to make a really good impression on your interview panel. We can go through that. And last is relationships. So may it be your significant other, your parents, your friends. What are some tactics that you can use to make your peers feel comfortable around you and make them feel that you're the person they should come to when they have a problem. Okay, so these are the three main situations we will talk about. Uske baad we'll do a little bit of practice. Then we'll do sentence starters. What are sentence starters? These are some things that you can use in your day-to-day life to better your skill. And last, we'll do questions and clarifications. Okay, so that's the agenda of the workshop. Right. Now, like I told you in the introduction, is listening really a skill? When we talk about skills and we write skills in our CV, hum dancing, drawing, painting, these are the skills we write. Usme none of us write listening as a skill, right? But here's the thing. Think about two people. Okay? Think about one person who has got all the qualifications. Think about another person who also has all the qualifications, but is a great conversationalist. Conversationalist means he's great at talking, listening, making you feel comfortable. If you were somebody who had to choose between these two people, whom would you choose? You would obviously choose somebody who's a great conversationalist. Always remember, guys, when we go for interviews or when we want to make a good first impression, we don't have to come across as robots because skills sabke paas hote hain. What sets you apart is how beautifully you can connect to another person. And one of the ways of showing that you connect to another person is how deeply you are listening to that other person. Okay, so if I say that the biggest sign of respect that you can give to anybody is listening. When you are in class and your teacher is talking and you are talking, why does the teacher get so angry? And those of you who have been in my class will know कि गुस्सा बहुत आता है. क्यों आता है? Because you feel that you're not being respected. जबकि you are giving your time standing in front of everyone and talking, and the other person is not listening only. So biggest form of respect is listening. It's a very, very important soft skill to have. It will make you a better, I don't think it'll make you a better person, but it'll make you a better conversationalist, and it'll make you a person whom others want to be around. And that is something that we all want. Okay, so that's why we are doing listening as a soft skill. Another very important thing is that when you go to offices, okay, a lot of you are going to join the workforce very, very soon. Skills, like I said, sabke paas hai, degree sabke paas hai, certificate sabke paas hai. What is different is if you are somebody who has good interpersonal communication skills. If you are a team player, how do you show you're a team player? If you can problem solve, if you can collaborate, and all these things come across when you show active listening as a skill. All right, so that is why we are going to study what is and why active listening is important. So very simply put, whenever we come across something new, ask three big questions. What is it? Why? And how? So what is active listening? Simply put, active listening is a very, very conscious way of listening to someone, a very, very conscious way of absorbing information. Okay? So here's the difference. एक होता है hearing और एक होता है listening. Okay? What is the difference between the two? Hearing is very passive. जब आप मार्केट में जाते हो, or if you're traveling in the train, or if you're traveling in the cab, you hear so many sounds. But how many of those sounds are you actually listening to? I mean, when I played that market sound, I'm sure that that market sound must have been around you so many times. But how many times do you actually say ki, ha, there's a cycle bell ringing. Acha, there are some crows, there is rain, there are men and women talking. So listening and hearing mein yahi difference hai. Hearing is very passive. You are just, it's coming and it's going. You're not retaining the information. Well, it's not sinking in. It's listening that makes, it's a very conscious, deliberate way in which you are listening. Okay. So second thing is that you listen to fully understand. Acha, when your friend comes and talks to you and says that, okay, I lost my wallet, you are not in your own world thinking, acha, okay, I need to book tickets for this movie. You are listening to understand, and you're also listening to respond. Conversation two way होता है, right? Somebody is talking to you, you have to respond back. आपने अगर सुना ही नहीं तो what will you respond to? So very simply put, active listening is a very conscious way of understanding, concentrating, and responding to what information is being given out. Next, why is active listening important? Like I told you, first thing, biggest form of respect. If somebody is sitting in front of you and talking to you, that person has taken out time to share his or her feelings with you, or has taken out time to talk to you. The least you can do is respect that person's time and listen, okay? So most important is respect and trust. Second is it improves communication. Now, we'll discuss this later, but ऐसा बहुत बार होता है that when you are arguing with a friend, or when you have some, your friend is fighting with you, or you're having an argument, you say a lot of things which you don't mean. Kabhi kabhi na, if you listen carefully at the other person, and if you tell that person, is this what you mean? So that person will come back and say, no, I'm sorry, I don't think I meant that, I meant something else. So it removes that communication gap if you listen carefully. Okay. So for example, one day my friend told me, बहुत गुस्से में, okay, this is like, oh, this is really funny. Okay, my friend told me I'm a brainless person. I am pretty sure that my friend would never mean to call me a brainless person. And at that point of time, instead of feeling bad, what I did was, hey, are you really calling me a brainless person? And she immediately understood. It's like, nay, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant something else. Well, okay, so it improves communication, and it also removes misunderstanding. Lastly, it boosts confidence. Why does it boost confidence? Is because you are present, you are absorbing information, and you know everything around to talk and make an informed decision. Okay? So for example, in an interview panel, if the person is asking you, tell me how your certificate or your degree relates to the job. Okay, आपने सुना degree, job, relate. Okay, so I can frame my answer in that way. So it will boost your confidence if you listen carefully at the person in front of you. And last thing we will look at is how. How do you do active listening? Abhi, throughout the presentation, we will go through a lot of steps, how to do active listening, but main things, okay? First is you listen with your whole body, okay? Now, I want to tell you, and a lot of the teachers who have joined us will also say, हमें immediately पता चल जाता है in class if you are not listening to us. You know why? Not because you sit like this and you daydream, but it's also your entire body language. It's no eye contact. It is no leaning forward. It is no clasping your hands or nodding. So these are these are very small micro gestures which tell us teachers that you guys are not listening to us. So that is why if you want to be a good listener, or if you want to come across as a good listener, try changing your body language so that your teacher is not, well, she doesn't know. He or she doesn't know, okay? Now, the second thing is always ask questions. Questions are important because you are asking for clarification. Somebody is telling you about a terrible movie, okay? I saw, which is the movie that I saw, Abhi? It was horrible. Some wedding movie, Guinea something, I don't know, some wedding movie on Netflix, okay? Oh my God, it was a horrible movie, okay? Now what happened was, we were discussing it at home. I just heard wedding because I was busy with something else. And my conversation thought was on a different line altogether. मैं सोच रही थी about all the other wedding movies, and I had lost my train of thought completely, okay? And सामने से question आता है, so what do you think about Yami Gautam's clothes? I was like, what? Yami Gautam's clothes, wedding movie? What that person did was caught me because I was not listening. I was just pretending to listen, but that question caught me. So again, these are the ways we get to know that you're not listening. Okay. And last is paraphrase. What is paraphrase? Paraphrase is, agar maine kuch kaha, you understand and you repeat that thing in your own words. Okay. So for example, if I say that, I'm really upset that you did not give me my cup of tea in the morning. Okay, what a bad thing to be upset about, but hota hai ghar pe. And samne wala will say that you're upset because I didn't give you tea in the morning, or are you upset because of some other reason? So ऐसे करके जब क्वेश्चन घुमा के तुमको फिर से पूछेंगे, you'll be like, how silly am I कि मेरे को चाय नहीं मिली तो I'm upset. Okay, so this again is active listening. ठीक है, so I'm going to pause for 10 seconds and ask if there are any questions. Otherwise we'll continue. Okay, so 10 seconds. Okay, I just want to quickly say hello to all the people whom, all the familiar faces. Like I see a lot of familiar faces. I'm really, really happy to see all of you, okay? So, okay, hello everyone. All right, so I don't think there are any questions, so we'll continue, okay? All right. Okay, let's go to some of the key skills. Yahi important hai, but okay. 7 key skills of active listening. ठीक है? Very, very simple. और इसको हम लोग बार-बार we'll go on and on about it. So this will be a good practice for you as well. Number 1, be attentive. अभी मुझे screen में, because of whatever reason, I can only see like a few faces. And जो faces I can see Sarvana and I can see Dhruv. I can see, let me see a few more faces. Chalo. I can see Kuldeep, I can see Janvi. Wow, I see so many of my old students. Okay, so these faces are looking pretty attentive. Okay, why are they looking attentive? Because all of them have this. I can copy Dhruv, he's doing this, and Sarvanan is doing this, and the others as well. Everybody is listening. And like I told you, you have to listen with your whole body. First thing, remove distractions. ये तो बहुत common है, but a lot of us forget. A lot of us forget to put our phones on silent because well, notifications are life now. But remove all distractions. Bring yourself fully into the conversation. फोन के साथ प्लीज डोंट फिजिट. ऐसा कोई नोटिफिकेशन इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है that you need to address immediately. So do not fidget with your phone because that is a very mean thing to do. जो आप somebody is talking to you and you fidget with your phone. You have to constantly communicate to the other person, I am here for you. Okay, you have to show it instead of saying it. Okay, and how do you do that? You do that by nodding your head. So if I'm saying something, you nod your head कि तुम्हें समझ में आ रहा है. If I'm saying something and if you are bent forward, like your body is bent forward, that means you are listening to me. If you're bent backwards, like I don't care in the world, then that's not going to work. Okay. Another thing is that we also give a lot of verbal hints कि हम सुन रहे हैं. So somebody is sharing life problem with you. You don't look at that person and just do this. You also say, I understand. Acha. Thode gaps mein, you give that affirmation or you give that positive way to communicate कि I am listening. Okay. So the first is be attentive. Second is open-ended questions. Now this is really interesting. Okay. Sometimes हम लोग question पूछते हैं, लेकिन question का it's an objective type question. How was your day today? अभी how was your day today में answer आएगा good या bad. End of conversation, right? Instead, why don't we ask, you had a meeting today, how did that go? इसमें ना yes आएगा, ना no आएगा, ना good आएगा, ना bad आएगा. Somebody will have to talk to you, right? So be very, very careful of trying to have open-ended questions. This is also very important when we meet people for the first time, when we go out for parties and you have some people have social anxiety, like they don't want to, they feel scared meeting new people. You can't ask कि मतलब कितना time लगा आज traffic में? Okay, 10 minutes लगे. That's not a question. Ask an open-ended question so that you invite a conversation. ठीक है? Next is within this only an open-ended question. Be very smart. If somebody is sharing their problem with you, na, don't be like, acha, so how did that, acha, so you must have felt very sad about it. Answer, yes, no. You don't want to say that. You want to say something like, how did that make you feel? How did you feel when somebody said this to you? You have to dig deep, okay? So make sure जब आप question पूछ रहे हो, you dig deep into the story of the person जिससे आप बात कर रहे हो. All right. Next is probing questions, which is very similar to open-ended questions. मैंने आपको next वाला भी बता दिया, request clarification. Remember somebody calling me brainless woman, I requested clarification and immediately that person flipped back. Paraphrasing is again when you repeat what is said in your own words so that सामने वाला सुन सके आपको क्या समझ में आया. So that is paraphrasing. So whenever you're doing any active listening, this is especially very helpful when you're in a classroom, if there's a presentation, if there's a workshop. It's very helpful to actually say to that person ki, I think you said this. Are you sure this is what you meant? So you are clarifying what you have heard. Okay. Be attuned to and reflect feelings. That's number 6. Again, we are not having conversation with robots. We are having conversations with people who are coming in with emotions and feelings and so many things, right? So be understanding of that. It will help you put things into context. So for example, if I have a bad day, for example, that chai nahi mili subah, so I have a very bad day if I don't get tea in the morning, okay? So people in my house know that. And yeah, so the quickest remedy to make me feel good is isko chai pilao. That is the thing. So be attuned to feelings and reflect those feelings. You feel heard then. Pata hai? You don't feel ki nobody cares about you. You feel cared, respected, and it's always a good thing. And the last main skill is to summarize. Summarize very important during an interview. So for example, somebody tells you, give me, and ये बहुत गंदा question है, interviews में आता है. What are your key strengths or what are your key weaknesses? Tell me some big challenges you have done. So what happens is हम बोलते रहते. सुनने वाला सुन रहा है, and then gets bored and tunes out. So always when you're talking, summarize what you're trying to say. Okay, just summarize what you're trying to say, implying that whatever is in your mind, A, B, C, D, therefore, this is what I mean. So instead of writing like 2 big paragraphs, try and just summarize it in 1 sentence in the end. This also helps a lot. So these are some of the key skills of active listening. We will practice these key skills of active listening in specific situations now. Any questions? I'll wait for 10 seconds for a question. Maybe you can take us. There are no questions. Okay. I see Dattu sir also. Hello, Dattu sir. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. All right, so a lot of you are going to go through workshops, meetings, presentations like this one, and you will actually, you can use these techniques to show that you are a good listener, okay? So just remember slant, which is written on the left side, okay? S, sit up straight. Like I told you, every teacher in the world knows that you're not listening because you're slouching back, you're relaxed, and you're like, world is my drawing room, which right now, because we are studying from home, the world is your drawing room, but you can still sit up straight. That shows that you're listening. L stands for listen with your whole body, eyes on the speaker, always, and body leaning forward, hands either clasped like that or down, or if you're taking down notes. And basically your body language should convey, just a second. Yeah, basically your body language should convey that you are listening. A stands for ask and answer. And this goes back to my point of open-ended questions. ऐसा बहुत बार होता है when you go to workshops, meetings and presentations, people will ask you to share your response. People will ask you to answer. Always volunteer to answer. It shows that you are respecting the speaker and you're listening to the speaker. Nod your head. ये तो बहुत easy है. This so I don't have to show you. You just have to nod your head when the other person is talking. With those verbal affirmations like I listen, acha, aisa hua, that kind of constant verbal affirmation कि you are listening, and track the speaker. Do you know what track the speaker is? So sometimes ऐसे कुछ speakers होते हैं who like to walk and present. I don't know if Dr. Sonika is like that. I used to be like that, maybe sometimes. So when the teacher is walking or when your presenter is walking, you have to keep your eyes on the speaker. So that's what you say. You track the speaker. You track the speaker with your eyes and you follow the speaker so that the speaker knows you are listening. Simple body language techniques just to make the speaker feel that you are listening, all right? So that is your case number 1. Case number 2 is actually my favorite, which is about the interview. You will go to an interview. You will, or some of you must have already gone to interviews. You just have to follow a few techniques just to show the interview panel that you are a good listener. And this goes back to my first point, जिससे मैंने start किया था, that the difference between two candidates who have the same degree, same certificate, is this kind of interpersonal skill, okay? So remember corpus, it's a word, it's easy to remember. So you ask clarifying questions, you observe non-verbal cues. Okay, this happens a lot, okay? When you go for an interview, you will understand if the interviewer who's interviewing you loses interest in you. You have to be able to not only observe क्या हो रहा है, you have to observe the interviewer as well. अगर interviewer ने while reading your CV raises their eyebrow, okay, which means that there's something on your CV जिसको उन्होंने पकड़ा है and he will question you on that. Or when the interviewer has asked you something and you are answering, you see the interviewer nodding. Nodding is a sign of, okay, I accept what you're saying. So these are small non-verbal cues that in an interview panel, you have to observe. Because remember, you are listening not only with your eyes, you're listening through your eyes. I'm sorry, not only through your ears, but also your eyes. R is reflect. There are sometimes interviews are very like nervous, right? You get nervous when you are in an interview. So sometimes you are asked a question and you can't make the link between two things. मेरे साथ हुआ था last year. I was giving an interview and they asked me how the weather was and I had a complete I was so nervous. I had something else. मैंने कुछ और ही बोल दिया and it was a very bad start to the interview. I didn't even get that job. So think very carefully when somebody asks you a question, and how to think carefully is you pick up the keyword in the question, okay? What are your key skills? Or that's a very easy question. Let's do another question. How do you think your skills match the job description? Okay, so you pick up the keywords, skills, job description, match the two, and then you share your response, okay? And it is always okay to take your time before responding, okay? That also shows that you are absorbing jo kaha hai, you are thinking and you are responding. Great thing, people look for that in a candidate. Next is P. P stands for probing. Probing means, now don't become a detective and ask so many questions, okay? Probing means you ask for more information if you're not clear. अगर आपको किसी ने कुछ पूछा है, for example, what's your 5-year plan? So don't start saying my 5-year plan is to learn how to dance, sing, paint. You need to clarify and probe my 5-year plan in my professional life is, this is how it looks. Is this what you're asking? Or would you like me to share about my 5-year plan in my professional life? So probe and give the right kind of answer gives a great impression to your interview panel. Use questions, clarify. Koi problem nahi hai if you're not understanding anything. Question karo, you will get clarification. So why this is a listening skill? It's a listening skill because you know how to frame your question according to what is being said. So use your questions and like I said, always summarize. give me your 3 strengths. Abhi 3 strengths, ऐसे don't give 3 paragraphs of your strengths. और अगर आपने दिया भी है, in the end, summarize. So, in conclusion, I would like to say that I'm hardworking, I'm passionate, and I am very, very interested to work with children. So that is exactly how I would answer if somebody says, why are you suitable for a job in teaching? Okay, so that's interview. Other than that, please maintain eye contact. Okay, when you are being interviewed by one person, it's very easy to maintain eye contact, but eye contact, matlab, don't stare into that person's eyes. Okay, how do you do eye contact? You do 3-second eye contacts. Okay, 3-second eye contact, especially jab more than one person will interview. So I know some of you people might like to go for IS interviews. In fact, the picture looks like an interview panel with one person. So when you have like more than one person who's talking to you, one person has asked you the question, but sab sun rahe hai na? So how do you show that you are actually giving everybody importance? 3 seconds. Look, connect, move. Look, connect, move, look, connect, move. So it's a 3-second eye contact, which really helps जब पूरा एक interview panel बैठा होता है. Listen to the question. And last thing is, please wait for the interviewer to finish. Okay. Biggest problem that a lot of us have is when we are listening, when somebody is talking to us, we listen to respond. We don't listen to actually absorb. हम already सोच रहे हैं कि हम next क्या बोलेंगे. And this is a very big problem because this breaks communication. So always wait for the interviewer to finish their question. They will feel heard, and then you can pick up the keyword in that question or whatever they are saying and respond to that keyword. So these are some of the things you can keep in mind when you go for an interview. And just show your skill as different from somebody else. All right, now we move on to the power of body language. And why I'm saying body language is important is because a lot of what we say is non-verbal communication. Okay, so for example, if I look at some of the faces here, I feel good you people are listening to me because your body language is saying you are all on mute, but your body language is telling me you are listening to me. You are not tuned out and thinking about the next movie to watch, or you're not thinking about what was that Netflix Shadi Wala movie that I saw. Okay, so you are all listening to me. So I just wanted you to have a look at these statistics because these statistics are important. जब interview में जाते हो, 67% of the hiring managers say that lack of eye contact is a problem. Yeah, if somebody is fidgeting too much, okay, fidgeting, you understand, like touching the phone, touching the pen, doing this, bar. 26% get rejected because they fidget too much. Then, weak handshake. So, abhi to we are all safe because it's COVID times and we are not doing a handshake. But hopefully, when you guys go for interview, there will not be a COVID time and you will do a handshake. So, handshakes are also a 3-second rule. Handshakes also don't go on doing that. Handshakes are also firm handshake, 3 seconds, let it go. Okay. And last is please smile. Okay. A very pleasant personality is what people are looking for, no matter how serious the job is. So please smile. That always shows the person that you are nice and pleasant and warm. Okay. Last thing is, let's do this last one, which is managing relationships. So we've talked about interviews, we've talked about meetings, we've talked about workshops. So there are many times when we have our friends come and talk to us, our significant other, our partner come and talk to us, and ऐसे couch पे बैठ के with coffee also is a very, very common scene in many places where people come and share things with you. So how do you show somebody you're an active listener? You use empathetic listening. Empathetic listening is you picture yourself in that person's shoes and you try and experience what that person has gone through, and then you respond to that other person. Okay, so this is even one step further than active listening, that you are able to feel that other person, you feel the pain, you feel the joy, and you listen in such a way that their experience becomes your experience. Second is very important. This conversation, it's not about you. ऐसा बहुत बार होता है when then two people talk and if I say that, I was really upset because I was unable to plan a surprise party for my sister. अभी सामने वाला should not say, या मेरे साथ भी ऐसे हुआ था पता है, when I forgot to plan my party. Excuse me, I'm not here to listen to your experience. I'm here to share my problem. So always remember, when you're sitting with somebody and somebody is sharing a problem and you're in a relationship of whatever kind, you are able to absorb and listen to them, be fully present, rather than jumping and saying कि हाँ मेरे साथ भी हुआ था and मेरे साथ ये हुआ था. Okay, so try and make the person feel important. It's not about you. Please don't interrupt. ऐसा बहुत बार होता है that when you're talking, sorry, the other person is talking, you heard Goa in the conversation. Your mind goes to Goa, you interrupt and you talk about Goa plans. Okay, please don't do that. Please listen. Do not interrupt. Let the person finish talking. Close a conversation. Move on to plans of Goa. And last is reflect and respond. Think about what is being said. If your friend comes to you with a problem, if your partner comes to you with a problem, your parents come to you with a problem, understand, use empathetic listening, and then respond to the situation. It makes you a more mature listener. It makes you a more mature person. Okay, so I think with that, we can do a bit of practice. And then we will take questions. Okay, so I'm sorry, this is not the practice. All right. I'm sorry, I couldn't find an Indian scene. It looks like a foreigner scene. I'm going to quickly tell you what the scene is and what you have to do. Okay, so now this is Miss Lisa, who's giving a presentation to her colleagues. This one lady who's not in the screen. She stayed up all night, she prepared, she's super excited, and 20 minutes into the presentation, her colleagues A, B, and C have the following reaction, okay? I want you to look at this picture for 30 seconds. There are 3 questions written here. Think about these 3 questions. We will come back in 30 seconds. I'm going to time you, okay? So come back in 30 seconds. And then I'm going to ask for at least 2 brave people who are going to share the response with the whole group, okay? So I'm starting the timer and I'm also going to, hang on, yeah. Your time has started, people, 30 seconds. Look at the picture, look at the question and think about it. All right, 10 more seconds. And 10 more seconds. All right. Okay, 2 brave people. Sonika ma'am is going to choose.
Yes. Raghav? Yes, please.
We can see you, Raghav, but you have to unmute yourself.
Okay, by mistake, I think he has raised his hand. No issues. Okay.
Come on, brave people. Are you listening to me actively?
Kiara, I have unmute you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Hi, Ipsita.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Chanchal. And I have seen the picture. I think the most attentive listener is the girl with the symbol A.
Yeah. And why do you think so?
Because her body language, and she's having eye contact and very like everything, like she's looking there and she is out of her comfort zone, and she's not yawning as per like the number C is yawning, and she's not like giving a laid back attitude, or she's like the person who is B, the alphabet B, he's looking like he is having some fun time. It's not looking like a formal meeting or something. He's in his comfort zone, or he's, I think, busy in something else.
Okay. And what could you change about a person C's if you're comfortable in sharing?
Yeah, if by in case you are not like getting fun, or you are not enjoying the meeting, still your body language shouldn't be like this. Like the other person who is taking the meeting should feel that I'm delivering something boring or something which is not fruitful or productive. Your body language should feel, make the comfortable, like it should reflect that other person that she is delivering something which is productive and she has done some mehnat on it. So your body language should be like that only. You can't yawn in between, or when there are only 3 persons. I catch immediately.
Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for using that point of somebody doing mehnat, and you as a listener should respect that mehnat and not be so laid back about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Can I get one more response, please?
Shruti. Shruti. It's Sakshi. Yes, Sakshi. Please.
Yes, ma'am, I'm seeing this picture that the person A is very attentive, and like she is not bored. As the person B, he is very like in some other world only, and
That's
and
true.
the person C is very like bored and yawning. Is like he's also in another, she's also in another world only. Like the
Yeah.
person A is very nice, and she's listening everything what the presenter is presenting.
Thank you so much. Is that Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sakshi, for that. Can I ask a quick follow-up question? If you were to change something about person B, what would you change about him?
Like he should sit like he is leaning back, and he should come forward.
Excellent. I'm so happy you guys have been listening to me. Awesome. All right. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for so many responses. But unfortunately, we only have how much time left? 6 minutes left? Okay. We only have 6 minutes left, and I have one more activity to do, which I want to do. So let's move ahead. Okay. All right. Wait. Don't play. Okay. Now listen, people. Okay. This is a mock IAS interview. Okay. Please observe the interview as a whole. Look at how the candidate is an active listener. What are some things he's doing? Also look at jo interviewer hai, what is he listening actively or not? The video is about 1 minute long. Uske baad again I will give you 30 seconds. Just think about everything. And then we will take 2 responses again. All right. So 1 minute long video, I'll stop it, okay? When I have to stop it. Uske baad 30 seconds, think about the questions. Ready? Steady, go.
Aye. Good morning. Please take your seat. Thanks. You're Mr. Shreyans. Yes. Shreyans, introduce yourself to board members.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shreyansh Kumar. I'm from Kishangarh, Rajasthan. I've completed my graduation from IIT Bombay in mechanical engineering. Thereafter, I worked with EY as a business consultant for around 2 years. And thereafter, I left it to prepare for UPSC.
So why somebody who's an IT graduate getting into civil services instead of getting into corporates?
So I was in corporate for 2 years.
Yeah.
And thereafter, I was looking what would be my next steps. And I was going through different opportunities that I can get. And I stumbled upon civil services, and it inspired me as a good next option, which can give me a wide gamut of opportunities and a platform in which I can contribute to the nation building as well and have a very, very prestigious job.
So you stumbled upon this career,
Yes.
and it's very likely that after once you get into it, you'll stumble upon something else as well.
I think.
Okay, that's that. That's the video. All right. Think about question number 2 and 3. Your 30 seconds have started. All right, 10 seconds. All right. Okay. Sonika Miss is going to do the difficult job of choosing two people.
Raghav, can you unmute yourself now?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, previously, I don't know what happened. I couldn't answer, but
It's okay. It's okay. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. Now go ahead, please.
ma'am, should I start answering?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Ma'am, the points that make the candidate an active listener is he's not absolutely erect in his posture, but he has a posture that makes him seem keen to the questions and a bit forward that makes him look ready for the questions in a way. And he also, like you mentioned in your presentation, ma'am, he looks at each and everybody and keeps a 3-second gap or maybe even less, but he makes it a point to look at everybody and acknowledge their presence in the room, and that makes him an active listener, ma'am. And the ways in which the main interviewer is actively listening is he is only focused. He keeps looking at the candidate and he asks pointed questions to the candidate, which sometimes we didn't get a chance to listen to the last answer, but that was a pretty challenging question for the candidate. So that way, it could indicate, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing that. In fact, if I could have the second response, and I could take a third response as well on the third question. So we know that this candidate is leaning forward, looking keen. He's looking at everybody in the interview panel for 3 seconds, so he's maintaining eye contact. What about the main interviewer? Can somebody answer that question? Sonika, you can unmute somebody.
Yes. Rohan. Rohan.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
So the interviewer was interested and was keenly listening to his answers, and he quickly caught on to the one small error that he made. That was he answered that he stumbled upon this opportunity, and he not that he was passionate about it or and that he always had dreamt for it. But that is where immediately the next question for the by the panelist was for that. So panelist would definitely have looked at his profile and screened his what questions he wanted to ask. But when he made a mistake, he was very sure to ask the follow-up question so that he can get the justification out of him and to put him into a trap and whether he can get out of it and or not. So
Yeah,
that was one.
thank you. Thank you so much, Rohan, for answering that, because that actually is the answer I was looking for. The main interviewer very smartly caught on to that one word, stumbled upon. And you can't say when you go for a job interview, you can't say, I stumbled upon this. To wo to pakde jaoge na. So that's exactly what happened. And that is another sign. Remember keyword I was telling you, respond to a keyword. So that was the key word that was used by the interviewer then to frame his question and put this guy in a tough spot. But I think this guy actually got through the UPSC. I think he's ranked something. Yeah, he got through the UPSC. So I'm pretty sure he had a great answer. So, all right. So I think I have a feeling that's the end. Oh, yeah. These are some useful, we are already 1 minute up. So just give me 2 minutes and I'll wrap up. Is that okay, Sonika?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
You can take extra time, 10-15 minutes if you want, if you are, okay, no.
No, I don't want to take 10-15 minutes of the students at all. I'll take 2 minutes, maximum 3, okay? So these are some useful sentence starters for all your conversations to show that you are listening. I'll just quickly read through. First is, can you tell me more about? So somebody is telling you about a trip they planned, or somebody is telling you about a great coffee restaurant or a coffee joint or whatever. Always respond with some open-ended things like, can you tell me more about it? I would love to hear more about whatever you are hearing. Are you saying, which is the third sentence starter, it's a clarification question. Remember, brainless woman, that is what I used. Are you saying? Fourth question is, what I understood was so and so. Is that correct? That is also something you use to clarify if you have understood what the other person is trying to say to you. Fifth is, let me make sure I understand. So you should use these sentence starters. These sentence starters are important, okay? These are like a cheat sheet. When you want to sound intelligent and you want to sound you are listening, use these. And sixth is, have you thought about? ऐसा बहुत बार होता है when we are having a conversation, you may not agree with me, I may not agree with you, or whatever. Don't fight it out. Instead, be gentle and say something like, have you thought about another perspective, like A, B, C? So I want to take so basically, have you thought about it is another good conversation starter, okay? So these are some useful sentence starters. If you want, I could send this presentation to Sonika ma'am, and she can share it with you if you're interested. This is basically, I think, the end. Yes, this is the end of the presentation, and I can take 2 minutes if you have any pressing questions, or if you have any comments. I would be happy to hear it. Otherwise, we will say goodbye in 2 minutes.
Yes, anyone wants to ask something, please, you can raise your hand. I'll unmute you.
All right, Rohan.
Rohan, one.
So the one thing that I had is when we throw open-ended questions, there's a very high probability that it might pivot to something else from where we don't want to head, or maybe not something important we want to dive in right now. So how can we bring back the conversation to the point where we need, or maybe where we can use it to our advantage? Maybe it could be for the interview or a journal conversation as well.
Okay, so if I was stuck in a situation like that, what I would do is I would use a sentence starter like, I understand what you're saying. However, I think it would be more important to discuss ABC, or I hear you, I understand, but I was thinking if we could also talk about ABC. So basically, you have to be a little smart about shifting, like you said, not letting the conversation pivot out of control, but actually shifting it back, focusing it back on yourself, and use the key word again. If you're discussing coffee and somebody is discussing tea, shift it back to coffee. I love the fact that you like coffee and you found some amazing coffee beans, but I was thinking, what is your opinion on the Darjeeling tea versus Assam tea debate? Something like that, okay? So pick a keyword, question it, and bring it back to the conversation. One more question and then okay, bye-bye to everybody.
Dalrin? Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, yes, I want to ask that at times when teachers are teaching and we are in the classroom, at times we feel sleepy even when we are willing to listen and the topic is interesting. So why do we feel sleepy? Like, what can we do? How can we get our brain like attracted towards the teacher?
That is such a nice question, because it is actually picking up from your life question. Like, it's a life problem for every student, that you are sitting in class, you want to listen but you're not listening. Eye contact karo, track karo. Remember when I had done remember when I had done eye contact, nod, and track the speaker? Consciously do that. It is going to be very difficult कि you're looking at somebody but you're still feeling sleepy. बहुत मुश्किल है. Or it's going to be very difficult if you're looking at somebody and you're tracking somebody walking and you're feeling sleepy. So I'm sorry, where is it? Yeah. Try these things, okay? Try to consciously sit up straight. Try to consciously, I think in our KES Shroff College, we used to have our first lecture very early in the morning, which was very new for me also. So I also used to feel sleepy. So I also used to make that deliberate attempt to look at everybody, talk to everybody, show my body language. So if you work on your body language, which is unconscious, automatically, bahar se na, you will look like somebody who is listening. Okay? But don't use this to trick your teachers. All right. So thank you so much. I think I should end here. I'm sorry it took 7 minutes extra of your time. But thank you so much, all of you, so many of you, I think 167 of you are here. And yeah, I hope this was useful. I hope you can apply some of this in your life and be conscious and become great conversationalists.
Sorry,
Okay.
we cannot take any more questions. Thank you, Dr. Ipsita, for answering these. And thank you so much for taking time out. Now, with this, I would like to propose the vote of thanks. So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our always supportive management of the college, who has always trusted us in all our endeavors. I would also like to thank the guiding light of our college, our very own principal, Dr. Lily Bhushan, for always encouraging and motivating us. I also like to thank a vice principal of our college, Dr. V.S. Kannan, for the support and trust on all our attempts. I would also like to thank Dr. Mahesh Lavate, Dean and Coordinator of Arts, Mr. Samrat Srivastav, Chairperson, Center for Universal Human Values, for their valuable guidance and support. A very special thanks to our Reverend Speaker, Dr. Ipsita, for delivering such a wonderful and impactful session. It was an honor to hear from you. I'm very sure that everyone amongst us, it's wonderful. It would be a feeling more enlightened and confident about the topic. Last but not the least, a big thanks to all our student and teacher participants from all over the India. I would rather say all over the world, as we have few participants from Spain, Australia, Greece, and Bangkok also, for making this event such a great success. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much. Now, on this note, I would like to end this session over here. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, Ipsita.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shall we-